Hi there, my name is Jasmine Stumer. I'm going to show you how to make a custom tree in Unity using the system and tools that are actually provided through Unity. Now I've already set up a little area here. I made a piece of terrain with a little dirt and gravel. I also threw in a directional light to mimic the sun. Now an important thing, you have to have the tree creator package already put in. So if you haven't done that yet, just go ahead and do that fast. After you do that, go to Game Object, 3D Object, and Tree. And that'll throw in a little stick, and it literally is just a stick. It represents the bark of the tree you're going to make. And you'll also see all these settings over here on the side. Now these guys are going to be very important as you start building on your tree. We'll get into that. Let's go down here and make my tree a little taller. Let's bring that up really fast, and then we'll get into that. Now this one is the tree itself. That is the tree as a whole, everything included. This one is the branch that we are currently seeing. Now a tree is more than just one branch, so let's go ahead and add another one. This little node right here, Add Branch Group, that is what we're going to want to hit, and you'll see something popped up. It is just one though, we want more than one on there. So we go down here to frequency. I'm going to put 9. We want a few more on top of that too. So we're going to keep that group selected, hit that again, and we'll increase that even more. Now you'll see every one of the 9 got one branch attached right there. And I'm going to increase that to 12. And you'll see 12 times 9, 61. That's how many of the small branches there are on our tree right now. That's without any adjustments. That's our tree. Looks kind of ugly. So let's go back. I'm going to make it a little wonky looking. Now I like the crinkliness aspect. So let's add that a little bit. Got to do that for every branch setting. Alright, let's take a look. It's kind of growing a little weird. So let's go down here and see if we can make it point a little up more. Yeah, reach towards that sun. And the growth angle can work towards our benefit too. Now that's just the secondary one. We still need to fix those outer ones. Those are still going every which way. Let's bring those up. There we go. Now that is a pretty interesting tree. Let's add some leaves to it though. Now you got to think in terms of how things grow when you're adding leaves. You don't really see leaves on bark unless you've really chopped off some limbs and they're trying to grow back. You sometimes see buds on the secondary branches, so I'm just going to add a few off of that. And you'll see it does the same thing, 1 for every branch, 9 for 9. I'm going to increase that to 3. Just some buds. They're automatically plane setting. You'll see they're big squares, flat squares. That's fine for right now. We're not going to mess with that. And again, I'll go over materials when we're finished with the tree. So let's go down to the size and see if we can fix it. Now the interesting thing with this, you see how I'm sliding one side? You can set the range. So the smallest leaf will be this size and the biggest leaf will be this size. And then you can grab the whole thing and move that depending on how big you want them. I'm going to keep them around like that. And then we want the majority of the leaves to be on the outermost ones. So just hit that button again and it'll bring up all these guys. We want more than one again. So let's go in there and type, let's say 9. 9 for every branch. And let's change the size again. We'll alter these sizes again as we load the actual material because that'll determine the size as well. So that's pretty good for now. And that's what our tree looks like without anything added material wise. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna add a materials folder really fast so I can dump everything in there. Go in there and create a new material, and I'll call it bark. While I'm at it, I'm gonna make one for leaves as well. All right, now if you did import that package for the tree creator, this is gonna be really easy. Just go over here with the bark selected, hit that little button, and it'll bring up all these options that are built in. You don't have to do anything, just pick out one you like. I'm gonna go with Scots Pine. And an important part, this part up here, the shader. You wanna switch that from diffuse down to nature and bark. That'll give you a lot more options, and that'll allow you to attach it to the bark itself. Let's attach a quick bump map so it's bumpy. You can see a little preview down here as I'm changing it. Gloss for the sun. That looks pretty good. And then let's choose some leaves. Do pretty much the same thing. Let's go down here. That's fine. Scots Pine. No. Let's do... No, there we go. Sycamore. That's a good one. Okay. Now I want to fix this too. Go down here to the leaves. Tree Creator leaves. And you see that took out a big chunk of the area right in here. It was previously a full image. Now it's got that alpha channel set to 0. And it also gave us all these options over here, same as the bark. Let's quickly throw in a few things. And they also have the translucency because leaves sometimes can be seen through a little bit, just a little bit. There we go, and you can kind of see it there. Now, you can also bring in your own materials if you don't want to use what Unity has provided. I already looked up on the internet and found some green bark, which I thought was cool. All you have to do is get into your assets folder right here in Unity, drag it in, and then it's automatically linked. Now you do not want to go through your folders and dump it in through there. You want to bring it directly into Unity because that makes it automatically linked, and I'll show you what I mean when I say that. Let's create another material, call it green bark, and then when I go to pick it, my moss bark is automatically in there. That's what I mean by linked. If you don't do it that way, if you go through the folders and actually dump it in there, you're going to have to manually link it to the project, and that's just a pain. So don't do that. I do need to go back in here and set it as bark, and then I can set all these attributes again. Let's just stick with that. All right. Now you can just quickly drag it to the tree, but that's just a sampling. That doesn't really set it to it. You have to go select the tree and actually select each and every branch as well as each and every leaf group and set it down here in the materials. So click that little button. That one's mine, so give my computer a second. It's a little slow. It's gonna have to think about what it's doing. But basically you just want to attach that to every single branch cluster that you do, the same one if you like. Do it to every single leaf node, and you'll see it change as you're doing it. There we go. Let's do this one now. And you can see when it's done, this name changes to what you've selected, and that means that it actually took. Now while I'm doing this, I do want to point out that the more branch clusters as well as the more leaf cluster that you put on, that's going to put a huge drag on the computer. And the more trees you add to it, the more annoying it's going to be for the players too. So try to keep it to a minimum while it still looks good. Actually, let me go in after it finishes loading these leaves and change those colors, because green on green looks a little weird. And you can always just put a new material to it by doing exactly this process. You can just keep loading until you have what you like. Let's change that. And all you have to do, if you want to use that shape but a different color, is hit this little button up here, and I want it red. I want it to really pop off that. So let's go back to our tree and fix that then. Just reload it. Now what I'm loading to is the smaller branches here, so you're not quite going to see it. What I do want to do is the big ones. I haven't done that just yet. Yeah, it's thinking. Yes, I'm holding. Alright, let's change you too. Now these are, you're really going to see the change when it does go through. There's so many of them. And this is where you're going to see if you have to change the size too, because the leaves are not exactly the shape or size of these planes. There we go. And they are kind of small, so let's bump it up a little bit. There we go, nice and full. Okay, let's quickly turn that into an actual brush that we can paint onto our terrain. So basically, when my computer will let me, there we go. Select your terrain and go over to the place trees icon over here. Now nothing is selected yet, so we have to go into edit trees, add trees, and it wants us to assign. So hit this little button over here. There's the one that we just made. So let's choose that and add it. There we go. And I don't want too many trees, so let's just do it like this. And just start painting. Let's change some of the variations because that looks kind of the same. And if you ever don't like what you put down, as it says here, hold Shift and click to erase. And you can just start replacing them. Let's add a few more capabilities there. Quite a cluster down here. There we go. I'll erase just a few. Alright, and that is about it. It's just basically messing with the settings, making it how you like. And now an important thing, our tree right there, any changes that you do to it will affect all of these trees that we just laid out. So if I change the leaves to blue, they're all going to change blue. You're going to have to make a different tree if you want multiple types. Okay? Now, mess with some of the settings and try it out for yourself. Hope you have fun.